Hi guys, I'm Maria Brown. Well, today we're making edible Christmas gifts. Now before we go any further, remember to hit that subscribe button. Okay, come on, let's go get started. Okay guys, here is my holiday collection. I'm going to start by getting my toppings ready. I have these mint straws. You could use Starlight mints, you could use candy canes. So I'm going to crush this up just by banging away. I'm going to spare you the noise. Do you know that nuts are so much better toasted? Now you can definitely use them right out of the package, but if you toast them, it brings the oils closer to the surface and the flavor is so much nuttier. And it's so simple to do. Just preheat your oven to 350 degrees. Take a cookie sheet and put either some parchment paper on it or spray some cooking oil on it. Put the nuts kind of in a single layer and pop them in the oven for about 5 minutes until they just start to darken a little bit. And then they're going to be so much better. And I toasted some walnuts. Here I have some mini M&Ms. Here's Andre's creamed mint. Here I have coconut. Here I have my chopped up peppermint. And this is Heath bar. I have some red sprinkles and I have some silver and gold sprinkles. One of my bases is white chocolate. This is Ghirardelli classic white chips. And also I have Ghirardelli dark chocolate. You can certainly use milk chocolate if you like that better. You don't have to use chips. You can use bars and just break them up. Now, a lot of people use candy melts. I'm not a big fan of candy melts because it's not really chocolate. But I did buy some just for the purpose of using them for decoration. I'm going to squiggle some red or green on. So as a little bit of a topping, I think it's fine. I'm going to melt all of these in a double boiler. These are my pretzels. These are not gluten-free, but I did find gluten-free pretzels in the store and they were the big rods. So if you need to have gluten-free, you can now get them. I also have some cookie sheets ready. I've lined them with wax paper. You don't have to put the wax paper on it. If you have parchment paper, you could use that, or you really could use it just on the cookie sheet, but it's going to be a lot messier. I like to put the wax paper down. And for dipping, 2-cup or larger measuring cup works really well. I'll put the base inside of it and then I'm going to dip the pretzel in, and see, I can probably get the base all the way up to about here. So I'm going to dip it in and drill it in the base, and then I'm just going to scrape a little bit of it off so that when I put that down it won't be too puddled. You could put your base right in a large cup. You can get quite a bit of the pretzel rod in that as well. Okay, let's go get started. Now I just poured the white chocolate chip into a heat-proof bowl. Here I'm just making a little double boiler by taking a small pot and putting a little bit of water in the bottom, and I just have that simmering. That's not a very high boil. For the chocolate, we don't need a high boil. You can either put another little pot right on top of that, or just put a heat-proof bowl right on top of that. And in just a couple of minutes, this is going to be completely melted. I'll come back in a minute and show you. It's just about completely melted. So now I'm going to just turn this off. You can still see a couple of them in there. It just needs a couple more seconds. Those are going to just melt right in the hot chocolate. This was 1 bag of chocolate. Now, before I take this out, I'm just going to add a tablespoon of shortening to it just to thin it a little bit, and that will only take a moment to melt. Then we're going to take all the chocolate and pour it into our dipping container. This is all you do. Here is my chocolate poured into my cup. I've taken a pretzel and you're just going to put it in there and dip it and twirl it just like that. Go down as far as you can go. Shake off the extra and scrape one side. Put this down and do the next one. Now we just take the next one. Go up as high on the rod as you can. Twirl it, shake off the extra, and scrape it. Then we go on to the next. Now I'm just going to do a few of them to show you, and then I'm going to put some toppings on. Just do 4 for now. Okay, let's pretend we've done this whole tray. Now, I'm just going to go and put some red dots on this one. And that's all you do. Just do the whole tray and then let that dry. Some people don't like any puddling at all. That's not ready yet. This one is ready, but if it puddles on you, all you do is take a sharp knife and you can cut that puddling right off. That's if you want to be really particular. Okay, now I've got another tray of them done, and I'm just going to go and Put the topping right on there. This one is the cream de mint. Just put on as much or as little as you want to put on. If you're going to double dip, just make sure that it's dried completely. Just roll it in the chocolate again, and then scrape off the opposite side this time. This is still quite wet. Another thing you can do is, if you want to have the topping on the bottom, you put some on your tray and sit it right in there. And now you've got topping on the bottom, and also you're gonna put it right on the top. For those of you who wanna see what the backside look like, if you only do a single layer, that's what it's going to look like. I'm going to show you a little trick to coating the back of these with topping if you want. I have these little pastry brushes. Just take any little brush. You know, it could even be a paintbrush, but if it is, make sure it's brand new. And just dip the brush into the chocolate, and then it's going to get all sticky, and we're going to just plop this right into the base. Push that down. And now we've got coating all the way around. They just look delicious. And let's take a look at the backs. Beautiful. Let those dry completely. Okay, next, I'm going to melt the chocolate. I've put it in a heat-proof bowl, and then I'll put right on top, and that should only take 3 minutes to melt. You can take the chocolate off when it's still a wee bit lumpy, when you can still see a little bit of the chips in there, because the heat from the chocolate's just going to melt the rest of it. It's just about ready, and this is when you want to take it off. Now, we're just going to pour the chocolate into our dipping container and let the fun begin. All right, so I'm just gonna do the whole tray. Chocolate peppermint. If you want to get coating on the back, my suggestion is either to pick them up when they're still a little bit wet, but not too wet, and put them right on top of the coating. That picks up a lot of it. Or brush a little chocolate on the back and then dip them into the coating. You've probably heard of Almond Joy and Mounds bars. Well, here I'm going to make sort of a walnut joy. I'm going to put a light coating of nuts right on top of that. You could obviously use almonds if you wanted to. And then I'm going to come back and put coconut on top of that. I want to leave some room on the chocolate for the coconut to stick. Pile those on. You can use whatever toppings you want. If you don't like nuts, don't use them. If you don't like coconut, don't use it. I'm gonna let these dry completely, and then I'm going to brush a little chocolate on the back so I can get some topping on the back as well. Look how cute these are. I double dipped them because I ran out of pretzels. I've got about 8 dozen. I still had white chocolate left over. Look how pretty those are. It's just white chocolate covered with silver and gold sprinkles. Very festive. Since I ran out of pretzels and I still have these candy melts that I already opened, I shouldn't have done that, I guess. I'm going to melt some of these and put some little design right on top of this. It says you can melt these in the microwave or you can melt them in a double boiler. I like the double boilers. I don't need a lot. I just take a fork and I just squiggle it back and forth. It still doesn't spread quite as nicely as chocolate, and just keep going until they're all done. I like to do it on the diagonal. Okay guys, so here's my holiday collection. These are M&Ms. These are cream de mint. These are red sprinkles. These are chocolate peppermint. These are silver and gold sprinkles. These are walnut joy. Now I'm just bagging them up. I got these loot bags in the party department of a local store, and you can tie ribbons around them if you want on the end. These can be for any occasion. It doesn't have to just be for Christmas. They go nicely in these little wine bags. What I would do is just wrap it in some tissue paper. What an adorable, delicious gift that is going to make. Give me a thumbs up if you got anything out of that video. Leave your questions or your comments below, and remember to subscribe. Until next time, I'm Maria Brown. Thanks for watching.